My name is Okpobuano. Subscribe to the iFilm production. Thank you. Okay. Good day, my people. Once again, we are on to the history of Ihechiowa. My name is Okpobuano, but Kodoli in the football field. I have once talked about this history, and I have written this history in a book some few years ago. Now I am billed to talk about it once more, and the history has been all the time the same. Ihechiowa people are the descendants of Chiowa. This is the reason they call themselves Igbo Chiowa, Omu Chiowa, and Ihechiowa. These names are, when you use them to a particular purpose, then it is understandable. And we talk about Ihechiowa whenever possible. These people came from Ibeku, Umuahia, when Chiowa was the king. In fact, there were many people, many prominent people there. Arochukwu was there. Okun, Ekokenam Ebemwako, Angmami, Ukpo, the wise man, Achoro, the town crier, Ubokri, Ugurimbo, and the rest of them were there. And in fact, at a particular time in Ibeku, trouble came from nowhere. They planted crops and the crops were not yielding. The fishermen went out to kill. They couldn't have anything home. The hunters were crying. The heroes who were very great were killing the less privileged. The stronger ones were killing the weaker ones for no just reasons. It was only because they are stronger, and nobody ever queried them because of their strength. People were always running away from their location, from their houses. In fact, they hold the people in hostage. Then at a particular time, death struck. These heroes were dying inside their houses. Every morning, many of them were carried out from their house to bury. Then the people of Ihechiowa became terrified. Then they needed a solution to this problem. They went out for solutions, and they were told that it was as a result of the stronger ones killing the weaker ones. And the oracle told them that killing the stronger ones will not end the problem. The only thing that will end this problem is that nobody should inhabit Ibeku. As far as this oracle is concerned, nobody again will inhabit it. That if they don't live in time, that they'll see it. That morning they came home and packed their loads and ran to a location called Oriofia near Ozuakode. They left the place. At Oriofia, as they tried to inhabit that place, the people of Ozuakode came to query them for coming to their land without information. In fact, they tried to apologize to them or beg them to allow them. Say there was a very big fight, but this fight couldn't prevail. They settled the fight and they lived together for a long time. Chiowa, the king of Ihechiowa, died in that Oriofia. Then after the burial, Ekoma, the son, soon succeeded the father. And this time the son of Arochukwu II succeeded Ekoma. They lived in that place for many years, and their trouble was still with them. For the stronger ones were still maltreating the weaker ones. In fact, asked for another method of reasoning to end the problem. The people of Ihechiowa helped them to solve the problem. The problem was not solved. At a particular time, they now decided to leave Ihechiowa for another location. They decided it. On the previous night, they were about leaving Ihechiowa. Hekokena and the Bemoko had another decision. Nobody knew. As early as cockcrow, with their friends, well-wishers, and their families, they left through Akarisu Road. Unknown to the people. But by the daylight, they were made to know that these people had left. A commandant took the rest of the people through Bende Road. And the ones that went through Bende Road are the Ihechiowa of this today. Nobody until today had known the whereabouts of these two people with their well-wishers and friends. But each time they pour libation, they call the names of these two people, blessing them. So they went through the bush, eating anything their hands could touch. Until at a particular time, they came to a farm. It was yam cultivation time period. As they came out from the farm, from the bush to the farm, the people in the farm now ran home. They went home to tell the people that war is coming. And that was Ihenta. Namba Logo, the founder of Ihenta, now sent the warriors to go and meet these people. No Mueke was a warrior, no Kaike was a warrior. They gathered people and went to fight them. But at their entrance to that farm, they saw that these people were not fighting. They saw the small boys, they saw the old women and old men, they saw many things. They then went back to tell Namba Logo. Namba Logo now ordered them to bring the people. They went and brought the Ihechiowa people to Ihenta. Then Namba Logo came with questions. Who are you? They say they are Omo Chiowa. Another person mentioned Ihechiowa, and that one was preferably better than the first one. Then Namba Logo turned to the Ihenta people and told them that these are their junior brothers. From then, they now cooked and gave to the people of Ihechiowa. In fact, they gave them confidence. From there, the people of Ihechiowa now decided to live with the people of Ihenta. In fact, Ihenta people now made structures for them, rough structures, so that they live with them. And they had their reasons, because their elderly men had told them that their forefathers had always told them to receive strangers, to accommodate strangers. And Ihechiowa were one of the strangers they have to accommodate, and they did that. They poured libation and lived in that area. Many of them were working for Ihenta people. They lived there for many years. But soon, they decided to live again. They said they wanted to live in a forest where nobody had ever inhabited. And not to live there. Went to Ihenta and told them. Ihenta people were not happy. They never wanted these people to leave them. They told them their reasons. Ihenta now told them the reasons again. That instead of them to leave this area, that they have to give them lands and give them comfort. In fact, it was the people of Ihenta that made Ihechiowa understand many things. Because the day they poured libation for the living together, they called all the gods and ended at Chinekuku. Ihenta people went home and came back the following day to ask about this Chinekuku, because they have mentioned all the shrines and oracles in Ihenta, but Chinekuku, and they have seen all the huts built to these gods, but there was no god for Chinekuku, so they needed to know Chinekuku. They came to Ihenta. Namba Logolugu told them that Chinekuku is the god of the universe, who created man and woman and animals during creation. That he is, nobody can see him. That they only pour libation and call the man's name. That this Chinekuku takes care of everything on earth, all the other signs. They marveled at this story. Well, they left and went home, and they lived together after that incident. At another particular time, what happened in Abo Ibeku now happened to them again. Things were not moving well. The hunters cried, the fishermen cried, the farmers cried, and everybody crying. In fact, they went out to know the reason. They came and knew the reason. From there, they now decided to leave Ihenta. They decided to leave Ihenta. After Ihenta had tried to persuade them to stay with them, they accepted it, and they sent their hunters to escort the Ihechiowa people, and they left Ihenta and landed at Ogigie. They landed at a location called Ogigie. They built all that they needed. They saw all they needed: the water, forest, all the good soil and everything. So they made choice in that location and built their houses there and stayed there. All the advice and everything about Ihenta was there for them. They made a very clean road path to Ihenta, and they were doing things together. They now told Ihenta never to leave them, as Ihenta told the rest of people never to avoid Ihechiowa people. In fact, they respect Ihenta as their gods. During a K market, Ihechiowa will go to Ihenta for the market. And for market, then Ihenta will come to Ogigie as a market. That was during trade by barter. There was no money. Go to the market and change things. So after a short time, they lived Ihenta. Or not short, it was not short. They had lived there for many years, until 1 hour for day at cockcrow, as the women were trying to go out to fetch their crops from the bush, from the farm, for the exchange. They saw people in the market. They went and saw these people, dwarfs, just like the pygmies. They ran home to Ogorimbo, who was the priest of Kamalo. They ran to Ogorimbo, the priest of Kamalo. Ogorimbo told them to go and let Ekoma know about it. They went to Ekoma. Ekoma then directed them again to Ogorimbo. Immediately they entered and told Ogorimbo what was happening, what they had seen. Ogorimbo took his guns, wooden guns. He danced and sang the song, went inside the hut of Kamalo and came out. Then he headed for the market with the crowd. He went to that place and saw the traders sitting down. They brought farming instruments. He greeted them. They answered in a language Ogorimbo could not understand. The only communication was hand signs and illustrations of the hands. Now he bought 2 materials from them. He went home and told the farmers to go and fetch their crops. They went there. Those people were there until the end of the market that day. After the end of the market, people went home, and these people failed to stand up. until after night supper. They failed to go. This action brought confusion to the people of Ihechiowa. Now they needed solution to this problem. Ogurimbo told them to buy everything they want to buy from these people. That they were people only very different from the Ihechiowa people. These people left the market during the midnight, and by the early morning of the next day, they were not found there. It really brought Ihechiowa people confusion. And every story about Ihechiowa was centered on these traders of war, as they call them. This Ozoafio now became a balance for these traders. Because if you now carried your materials to the market and people fail to buy this market, Ihechiowa people will call you Ozoafio Hodo. And these people immediately they left. The second Afo, they never came. The second Afo, they didn't see them. The fourth Afo, nobody saw them. The fifth Afo, nobody saw them. At the sixth Afo market, before the cockroach, they were in the market again. Nobody knew the method to communicate with them so that they talk with each other. Ihechiowa people were afraid of these people, and these people were afraid of Ihechiowa people. It continued for many years until Ukpo, the wisest of all the Ihechiowa indigents, told the Ihechiowa people that these people had tails like monkeys. In fact, there was a big confusion again. But how do you know that these people had tails? He now asked the Ekoma to send people with him to go and prove it. Ekoma sent people with him. They went to the market. Ukpo went to the sitting of one of them and rolled out a very big stone. There was a hole in the ground. Ukpo then told them that these people come early as to bury their tails there and sit down with the tail so that nobody can see it. In fact, it was believable. It was believable. As they went to the other sitting and rolled out a stone again by Ukpo, it was the same thing. So did you. You have tails. So the Ihechiowa people now decided on trying to reveal this secret, to expose these people. Though they were mixed feelings, because Ihechiowa were talking about having trouble after this exposure. But Ukpo told them, and they decided to do it. On a particular market day, before the market day, 2 days to the market day, they now pour oil into these holes to invite termites, and so that this termite ant will drink the oil and then bite them at the tail. It was a good choice. They poured the oil there. On the day of the market, these people came early again as usual and sat down on their seats. And Ukpo sat far away from them, watching them. And those who knew what has happened were in the market, watching these people. At a particular time, when the termite had drank the oil and started biting them, Ukpo saw them shaking their body to endure the pain of the bite. After a short time, one of them couldn't endure these pains. He stood up, and that was the tail. Everybody saw it. There was noise in the market. People roared with noise. They disgraced and booed these people, and they packed their market and left through one of the farm roads. And Abia, the head of the hunters, were given the contract of locating these people. And he went out the following day with the hunters. They went throughout the forest of Ihechiowa, and they were not located. They were not seen. Nobody knew their location. And that is how these people left. And before they left, they knocked their hand on the ground and removed it and opened their two palms to face the sky. And that was a cause. They were very annoyed for Ihechiowa people. They did that before they left. Immediately they left, Ihechiowa now decided on midnight rituals. They decided on enacting their laws so that they may not live in that Ogige. So Ekoma, Ugbo, Ugurimbo, Kamalo. Ugurimbo was the chief priest of Kamalo. Nkwamuko were the chief priest of Omadi. Then Obokri was the chief priest of Fijoko. Now these four people came together. The only person that was among them who was not a priest was Ogbo. This Ogbo was the wisest, and this wisdom made him to be among these people. They gathered and wanted to enact laws, and these laws were to be enacted, and Ogige was to remain without people. That was their decision. After decision, they told the people of Ihechiowa. They went to the forest and caught 43 Mpaba sticks, forked staffs for Ihechiowa. This stick grows only in Ogige area. Doesn't grow to any other bush in Ihechiowa. I know it. This stick or staff is a terrible one. It has the power of goodness and has that of badness. So after cutting it, they now put the staffs on top of the hut, and the fire was flaming. So on the day of the midnight, 43 members of Ihechiowa people came together. The honest ones, they were selected. The honest ones of Ihechiowa were selected for these rituals. So all of them were at Akwabase. And there was a law in Ogie announcing that no other person should come out from the house during the night. They told the women, if you have to ease yourself, take a container. If man want to ease himself, take a container. And the hunters were made to go around Ihechiowa location for vigilance, for security purposes. And all the named 43 members went to Ititogo, Akwabas. They were doing the midnight. Ekuma stood up and brought out that 40 staffs. After he poured libation and did everything, he started sharing the staffs. Immediately you get your own staff, you stripe yourself. You be on the line, naked. By the time he ended sharing the 40 sticks, the elders and the honest men were around it. They made a circle around that Akwabase. And the fire was flaming inside the hut. He now brought out the other 3 staffs and handed it over to Bokri. He told him, Bokri, share these 3 staffs. You must be the leader of this midnight ritual. Bokri now brought the staffs. He brought out one and gave it to himself as a key. He brought the second one, gave it to one other person as a Ori. He gave the other one to another person as a form. There was no staff from Kwong. And because of this, Ihechiowa cannot do their festival. I mean ritual festival on Kwong Day. Anything culture and tradition is not done in Kwong. In Ihechiowa, that was the beginning. After the midnight, they danced and enacted all the laws. No man should go to another woman belonging to another man. Nobody should push back boundaries of the old. These laws were enumerated by the Ihechiowa people, and many of these laws are in the Bible. Many of them are in the Bible to show you the depth of Ihechiowa understanding. And these laws are in existence today in Ihechiowa. We are making use of them. Immediately the midnight ritual ended. The following morning, Ihechiowa left Ogige for Abia. The rest of the people started packing their loads. They only went there to take their cassava, to take their yams, to take their cocoa yams and every other thing. By the end of that year, they have packed to Abia. Another oracle was established at Abia. The name was Obasidrielu Abia. You know, the other one was Ogige. So there was another oracle by a big tree. It was Obasidrielu Abia. And they lived there. In fact, they danced the second dance there in Abia. Those who were dead among the first dancers were replaced by other honest men. In my book, I enumerated their names. Okun, the son of Ekoma, was there. Ekoma, the son of Chiowa, was there. Abagetam and the Tamada, the sons of Ukpo, the wise man, were there. Oburoko and the Mweza were the sons of Mweza. They were there. Diogupu and Oba, the sons of this first Diogupu, their father, were there. And the rest of the people, Upo, Hangmami, and the rest of them were there. And they were changed by some other honest men. That was the second dance, the midnight dance. At Abia, not Ogige. Then Akwabasi remained at Ndobo, Ogige. And they always go there to pour libation. Because shrines cannot be left like that. So from Abia, people started going out for foundation. Ukpo, the two sons of Ukpo, Abagetam, now founded in Ukpo. He's the founder. Itamada founded Omuye and gave them their name. Deye Yokra. Deye Yokra was their name. Oburoko and Weza were the two sons of Mbon Weza. Oburoko founded Uburu. Weza founded Omulombo and gave them the name Uguonyene. Their name is Uguonyene, just like Umuye. You call them Umuye now. They are the Yokra. Mozambo is, I've told them Uguonyene. And thank God they had Onyene there as a mate, as mate. So Dioguku now left Abia and went down to Achara with Oba, the brother. After many years, Oba left Achara with his brothers, Iyomanja and Ogbonja, to Okpo. They founded Okpo. All the heroes, all of them were the founders of Ihechiowa villages. The ones I've mentioned now were the prominent among them. They were prominent one among them. That is the establishment of Ihechiowa. 21 villages. 21 villages. All the villages I've mentioned are here today. 21. As I hear people say 17, I hear people say 18. There are 21. Anytime you want to know it, if you come here, I will tell you. 21 villages. And this is how Ihechiowa was established and are living with their brothers today, with the tradition and culture of their fathers, which we know very well. What I have to say now is that the story I have now is that of migration and foundation. Maybe some other time we'll be talking about traditions and culture. And we may be solving problems that is hampering Ihechiowa, because I've got many of them today. People do not obey our tradition like they do, like people do not obey God now. People shout, only shouting without obedience to God. I may write about it. So people in Ihechiowa here do not obey their fathers. This is the reason they are not as healthy as their fathers. We met them here. During my childhood, I met them here. I saw their situation. They were old and healthy. Now our people are not old and healthy. Many people are seeing it, but so many people are not seeing it. So this is the story from Ogbu and Kodo. As I've told the story, a perspective history of Ihechiowa. The book is on sale. I've written Woodpecker or Tugbogbo. The book came out and there was an error. So this book must be republished. And when it is republished, it will come out. The book I'm writing now is 8 Religion for the whole world. I want to enumerate the religions around the world. After enumerating them, I'll pick Christianity as my base, because Christianity is the only truthful religion that is connected with the Creator. Christianity is connected with the Creator. All other religions are the ones introduced by men, created by this God, created by Jehovah. They died and were buried in the soil of this ground. But Christ of the Christianity from the Father died and ascended into heaven. This is what I know, and I have to write about it. I was not born when all these things happened. But God, the creator of this universe, gave me the power to tell the story. And the ancestors of Ihechiowa, they gave me the vision to tell the story. And because I have known this story, I want our children in Ihechiowa to know it like I have done. I still remain Opobuano, Kodo man from Upper Umuye. This is the history of Ihechiowa. I've told everybody. Next other time we meet, we shall be talking about traditions and culture of Ihechiowa, as you have seen. So, bye for now.